So, welcome back to the Fit Chicks and Hormones podcast. Today, I want to talk about self-sabotaging behavior. It seems to be a common theme with a lot of my clients, a lot of women that I know, and myself as well. Something I go through as well. And here's the thing: you may not even realize that it's happening or that you're doing it, that you're self-sabotaging yourself. So, what is self-sabotaging behavior? Self-sabotage refers to behaviors or thought patterns that hold you back and prevent you from doing what you want to do. So think about that. Does this sound like you and what you're doing? Is it a theme for you not only when it comes to your weight loss or healthy hormones, but maybe for other areas of your life? That's why today I want to talk about the signs that you're self-sabotaging and how you can get rid of them so you can get back on track and reach your goals. So first I want to talk about why. Why do we self-sabotage? So the first reason is because we feel overwhelmed. We set goals and we visualize them as one large goal, and we forget about all the small goals or all the small steps we should achieve first. I'm guilty of this all the time, not so much when it comes to my health, but when it comes to my business goals. I find myself looking at all the things that I need to do that I just don't end up doing any of them because I'm just overwhelmed. It's too much. I don't want to do it. And I just think I'm never going to get there. It's too much. But maybe for you, it's the thought of dropping those 10 pounds and it seems so far away, or those 20 pounds or whatever it is. And you think if you don't see the results right away, then you're just going to give up because it's not worth doing. There seems to be so many steps to get there that you're just like, forget it. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. So maybe what you need to do is focus on the baby steps that are getting you to that larger goal. So setting smaller goals. Maybe I want more energy. I want good sleep. I want to work out more, and then focus on fixing those things first. Once you focus on the small steps, they're all going to take you to that larger step, and the end results are going to come, all without even have to think about it or thinking about how overwhelming it can be. Number two, we self-sabotage because of the feeling of comfort. We get used to where we are and it feels okay. Instead of pushing ourselves to the next level, we stay right where we are because we don't like to be uncomfortable. Nobody likes to be made uncomfortable. Nobody, not even myself. We don't want to give up on those nightly drinks. I have some clients that, you know what, I'm not going to give them my wine. And I get that. But then you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. Or maybe you're not willing to give up those dinners out with friends and saying no to all the goodies, or eating all the bread and the pasta, the things that you shouldn't be eating if you want to get your results when it comes to weight loss. So instead, you stick to the things that are comfortable and they make you feel good, right? Because you don't want to go out with somebody and say, oh, you know what? Sorry, but I'm not going to drink tonight, because you're afraid that maybe they're going to say something about that. You need to realize it's when you step outside of your comfort zone, that's when most of the changes happen. That's when you become stronger. That's when you start to move forward and get results. Our goals become realities. So deciding when it's okay to do something you don't really want to do. It's okay to do that. And you're okay with it. Maybe you're afraid that you're going to join that workout class, but you're afraid, or you want to start over. You're afraid to join that workout class, but you're afraid of being judged. I have this so many times. Some girls don't want to come work out at Fit Chick Studio because they're afraid somebody's going to watch them and they don't want anybody to watch them. But I can guarantee you, at least at my studio, nobody's there to judge anybody and nobody's there to watch you. They're so focused on themselves and what they're doing that they're not focusing on you. And if you find some place that is happening, it's not the right place for you. That means you need to go and find a place that is judgment-free, that you're going to get all the support that you need, and you're going to feel comfortable going there. Okay, so, but the most important thing is do it. Go try it out. Maybe the one gym you try out or the studio that you try out isn't the place for you. Try another one until you find the one that makes you feel comfortable. But staying at home and not doing it is not going to make you move forward. We self-sabotage ourselves because of our fears. We fear failure. You fear judgment. You think, will people see me try and then see me fail? Then what are they going to think of me? Will someone judge me when I say I don't want to have a drink with them? Will I try something and then give up and then I'll look like a failure? Will it be too hard for me? Am I afraid to try because it's going to be too hard and I don't want to start something and it be too hard and stop because then I'll feel like I'm failing? Will I put in all the work and get no results? Our thoughts become our lives. You need to change the way that you think so that you can move forward away from those fears. Working on mindset is a key piece to achieving any goals. You have to change the way that you speak to yourself. You have to change the way that you talk about yourself and what you're trying to do. So we talked about all the whys, excuse me, and now why we self-sabotage. So now let's talk about how we do it, and see how many you can relate to if these sound like you. Number one, we procrastinate. That's the biggest one. I'm guilty of this. You put off the things you need to do. Let's say you want to lose weight and you know that you need to go grocery shopping, or you need to schedule that workout, or you're never going to do it because you're too busy, but then you're not prepared. So you choose junk food or whatever's available and you miss your workout. So procrastinating leads to failure. And I don't want to say in the bad way, but you know what I mean. So obviously planning sets you up for success, right? Something I teach to all of my clients and all of my programs. Plan and prepare. That's the way that you're going to set yourself up for success. We are perfectionists. We don't like to make mistakes. So if we can't do it 100% perfect, then we don't want to do it at all. I find a lot of my clients fit into this one as well. They're like, oh, I can't do it. I messed up. So I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna not do it. I'm gonna, it's too hard. When you fail, you just say, forget it, I'm done. But it's about making mistakes, because that's how you learn. That's how we learn, is by making mistakes. And that is, and what is most important is being okay with making the mistakes. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So you have to learn from those mistakes and then get back on the horse and try again. By giving up, you're not going to make progress and you're not going to get anywhere. So no need to be perfect. Just try and see what happens. Number 3, you put yourself down or you talk negatively to yourself. How many of you do this? Again, I know a lot of clients who fit into this. I'm finding myself all the time. Why did you just say that? That was negative. Change that. I'll do it on the spot a lot of time with my clients. If they say something negative, I make them stop and change the way that they just said that. Because that way I'm helping them to notice that they're doing it, and also teaching them how they can move forward away from it. Or, when they're on their own, they can think and change it. The way you talk to yourself matters. Most of the things that we believe are not from someone else. It's the word that we tell ourselves. Listen to that. Most of the things that we believe are not from someone else. It's from the words that we tell ourselves, the words that are going on in our mind. Negative self-talk is that inner voice you hear that limits you from believing in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And if you don't, then you need to start finding out how you can move past that. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's mindset work, maybe it's working with a coach, whatever. But this is probably one of the number one reasons I see clients fail, is because they don't believe they can do it, because they're constantly telling themselves that they can't and they aren't going to be successful. Some of the negative self-talk statements we hear ourselves are, I'm too lazy, I'm a failure, I'm not going to get any better at this, I'm going to be fat forever, I can't do it, I'm going to fail, so I'm not going to try, things like that. I'm sure if you think back, you've said them time and time again as well. These kinds of words, they shrink our confidence. As long as you continue feeding it and saying those things out loud, your mind is going to dig pieces of evidence from your memories, and it's going to make those things true. If you continue to say, I'm a failure over and over again, it's going to happen. If you continue to say, I'm lazy, I'm too tired, you're going to be too tired and you're going to be too lazy. You have to change the way that you speak to yourself about yourself. Once you're able to do that there's so many things that can happen for you in your life. Like I said, this is the number one thing that I find that I have to work the most with a lot of my clients. Number 4, you are overcommitting or trying to do too much. How many of you can raise your hand to this? Sometimes we overcommit because we don't feel like we're doing enough, and we feel that if we're doing more, we're going to get better results, or we're going to be a better person, or we're going to whatever it is. So we're going to work, do more, and all that happens is we fail. We feel like we need to do more and work harder for our goal. What's worse is we compare ourselves to other successes, and that makes us feel not enough or even worthy of our goals. So that comparison to other people, do not do that. This is another thing that I teach in all my programs is you're all different. Y'all have different things going on in your life. Y'all have different stresses. Y'all have different lifestyles. You got to find what works for you, and do not compare yourself to anyone else. Overcommitting can hurt the progress of your goal and your own growth. When it comes to balance your hormones, doing too much is always going to set you back. You have to start with a simple approach and add on as you go. Doing too much will burn you out and make you give up. But that goes with anything in life, right? If you try to do so much and try to move forward, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be burnt out and you're going to quit. And this is why with my programs, I feed information to my clients week by week. So we're starting with the small, simple steps, and then we're moving forward as we go on. So it's adding pieces on as we go instead of throwing everything at you and you trying to figure it out on your own. How can we stop self-sabotaging? This is probably most important, right? This is what we want to do. This is what we want to learn. We want to make sure we're stopping. We're not doing this to ourselves anymore. Number 1, become aware that you are self-sabotaging and prevent it. What things that I mentioned above are you doing, and how can you change them? How can you start focusing on them? Number 2, analyze your limiting beliefs and rewrite them positively. That's what I talked about earlier when I talk about my clients when they say something negative in front of me, and I immediately say, okay, can you say that in a positive statement? I'll do it on Facebook as well. Like if a client writes something, I'm like, that's very negative. Let's change that statement for you. And I have them rewrite it in a positive manner. Where do you feel as if you always fail? Can you change those thoughts and truly believe in yourself? And maybe you need to just sit right down and do that now. Like one of the biggest things that I talk about is mindset. So if something comes across that's a negative thought, sit down, write it down, and then rewrite it and think about how you can make it not true. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So rewrite the thoughts in your head, rewrite the stories that you're telling yourself about what you can and cannot do. Number 3, know what are the most important things for you. What is the most important goal? What is that end goal, or is it a do or die for you? Maybe your goal is just to be healthy and feel better versus losing those 10 pounds, right? Maybe your goal is to just sleep better or have less mood swings, whatever it may be. What's the most important? Is it all about the weight? Because I can tell you what, if you have a lot of things going on in your life and you are stressed out or you're not happy in your life and you think that losing 20 pounds is going to make you happy, that's the furthest thing from the truth. You have a lot of stuff that you're going to work through. You have to work through before you're going to lose that weight. Or I can tell you that you will never keep the weight off and you're never going to get there. It's just going to be too hard. It's going to be stressful and you're going to end up not appreciating it and you won't be happy in the end. So figuring out what is the most important thing for you. Number 4, always remember the purpose of your goals. If you don't see the importance of your goal and why you want to achieve it, you need to figure that out. This is another thing. This is something that I always ask in all of my programs that I've been doing this for years. What is your why? Why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? Is it because you want to be able to play with your kids or your grandkids? Is it because you just are tired of feeling crappy? Is it because whatever it is, you have to figure out what it is. Not knowing why you're doing what you're doing will always make you stuck and you'll most likely give up because it's not going to be important to you because you're not going to know why it's important to you. So asking yourself, why is what I want to do important to me? So I hope you enjoyed that. Awareness is the first step. I hope that this has opened your eyes as to what you may be doing to self-sabotage yourself. And now is the time to make the changes and to stop, right? maybe you need to listen to this again. Maybe you need to sit down, do some journaling, whatever it may be. You want to reach out to me. I can help you with all this as well, because again, this is a lot of things that I deal with my clients and work with in a lot of my programs. I want to thank you for listening, and I would love to share with you my free hormone health guide. The link to pick it up is listed in the show notes, and it gives you the exact steps you need to start balancing your hormones naturally. So without spending any money, this is a free guide. It's going to show you what you need to put in your life and the things you need to take out of your life that are going to help you not only feel better, but live better and move you in the direction of achieving those goals. So thanks again for listening, and I will see you in the next podcast episode.